Welcome back, viewers. This is the Treasures of Life show, your home of energy. We are with Maureen O'Carl. We are talking about child public participation. Can you believe it? And our sign language interpreter in this final section is Esther Kendi. Feel free to share your views with us on 0111 980384. Now, Maureen, as we wind up, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Great, great. As we wind up, interesting. We had our teenagers getting into a bit of civic education. You remember Butere girls? Yeah. Echoes of war, shackles of doom. I'm almost seeing them acting Wounds of June. Where was that?
Oh, I'm waiting for Wounds of June.
Yeah, I'm almost seeing them acting that.
Yes.
This is an attempt to civic education, do you think? Is this effective civic education? And what do you think about this method of civic education and the backlash from the leadership? Is it a bluff? Okay.
I'm telling you, when I want to talk about the leaders, I feel so disappointed.
Right.
And I always ask God that, supposing I was the one there, would I behave differently? Yes, I would. Because we have leaders that are very funny, leaders that do not want to be told. Then you wonder, why is it that you don't want to be told? It means that there is something very special they are busy doing in those corners that they never want anybody to talk about. Right. They don't want any disturbance. But you see, they're lying to themselves. Because for as long as it is not working right outside here, we will make noise. And it is this noise that they do not want. They don't want their ears to be disturbed. But they should ask themselves, why should I be silent when I'm not, when it is not well with me?
Right.
I'll get you out of that corner. You will answer. You will listen. You get it.
Right.
And as we had said, we sing about the national anthem. When we say ya kwamba tujenge taifa,
yes,
tuinuke sote tujenge taifa, then it means that I've put you there to represent me and you're not doing right. So it is my responsibility to get you out to come and attend to the issue that I'm talking about.
You know, I'm thinking, even as you're talking, when we were talking about the school plays, that was a very serious tool for civic education, don't you think?
It was.
But I'm also thinking, we have books. During my time, I read a book called Mashetani. Do you remember that book? Did you do it? Or you came much later? Which book did you do? Kisadikika?
I did Visiki,
or maybe you did international, whatever.
No, it was just local. But Visiki, Aminazidi. Those ones were the books of 99, 2000,
you make
2000
me
and
feel
something
like a
like
dinosaur.
I know.
I did Mashetani, Kisima cha Giningi.
I heard of them. I read some.
Yeah,
I just read.
This resonates with so many millennials.
Yes.
Yeah, millennials, many of them, and Gen Xs to the end, you know, the end of Gen Xs and millennials. Many of them did those. This was civic education, you know. And I remember when these people were talking, you know, the Gen Zs, when they were having their discussions with the president. You remember when the president gave them an ear last year?
On X.
Yes. They were quoting the books. They were saying, you have taken us to school. We've read these books. They mentioned the books and they said, we are now learned. We know what goes on. I remember a young person reading for me a story on public participation, some road somewhere. I've just forgotten the story, but it was a group of stories. And this was a young girl who is actually in grade 9, already reading books about civic education, poor leadership. You know, it was something to do with a leader who is absent. Now, when they pick this up and act it as a play, or when they come to really walk the talk on what they have been taught, disconnect? Are they not supposed to pick up what they're taught in school?
That is what our children did. I wanted to just put a bit of a difference between the Gen Zs and the generations that they were before.
Yes, yes.
In those other days, light was not as much as we have it today.
Right.
And our people have forgotten the fact that we are evolving every day.
Yes.
Things cannot be the way they were yesterday. Remember when Kenya took up responsibility to self-govern.
Right.
The nation was fighting against three things: ujinga, maradhi na umasikini.
Right.
Then, over time, we got to an information age where everything is just available.
Yes.
There is a lot of information.
Absolutely.
Yes. So with the information, with the books that we have read, our children have read, you are supposed to acquire that and put it to use. Remember, we have three objectives za mtu kwenda shule.
Yeah.
One is to acquire knowledge, to acquire skills, and also attitude. So these are the things that our children were doing in school. These are the things that we did in school. The only unfortunate thing is that there are other instruments that we never had then.
Right.
But today, they are blessed. The other instruments, the other resources are there. Like now when we have the phones and the internet and everything. So this makes them even more enlightened.
Right, right.
And therefore, we should come to an agreement that we are not living in the past days. Kenya has changed, and it can only get better. And that is why you get our children very strong outside there and saying no to these kind of behaviors that our leaders that were there before are coming along with. You get
Moi
it.
said at the onset of multi-party democracy, mtajikaraga na mafuta yenu wenyewe.
Yes.
Do you agree with that when everyone is enlightened,
Yes.
then tunakuwa wote wajuaji?
Which is okay.
Too much enlightenment, dangerous.
Which is okay. I agree. You see, the reason they want to keep people suffocated is because of this very education. And we thank God for our president, the former president Kibaki. He made sure that our children went to school.
Okay.
Yes. We also thank God even for Moi himself.
Yes.
He made sure that as much as education, issues to do with education are not as good, were not as strong as they are today, but people went to school.
But
if there is anything we were given, the fact that I went to school is the reason I will take my child to school today.
President Moi mentioned that in connection to too much, engaging in too much civic issues, so much of civic education. He said, mutajikaraga na mafuta yenu wenyewe. At that time there was so many human rights people coming in and multi-party coming in, until he told them, you people, mutajikaranga na mafuta yenu. Is that what is happening now?
No.
Okay.
If only, let me tell you, I'm still insisting on the part of the leaders. If
Right.
only they could understand that this is a good thing that came, that people are enlightened.
Okay.
That would help them do better. But it is them that are still stuck to the fact that they don't want people to make noise.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter how much they don't want it. Noise will be made. You understand?
Okay.
Because we are an enlightened people. And I just wonder the kind of a nation it would be if we went back to the old days. And again, I'm just happy that even in the old days, our forefathers won this war against the Wazungus.
Yes, yes.
Our own people in Kenya have always won this war against the leaderships that have been there.
Definitely.
So this thing cannot stop, Mr. Jonah.
Perfect.
We will still be winning as we keep going.
Absolutely.
And you know one thing that makes me very happy? I will say it on air.
Right.
That whether the leaders like it or not,
Right.
they are all exiting the stage.
Okay.
I want the youth to know that. They're exiting the stage.
Okay,
by
fine.
all means, naturally.
Okay.
Yes, by all means, they're exiting the stage.
So they should give the mantle.
So the leaders should know that they owe the young people. And they should be ready to pass on the baton to the younger generation.
Groom the young.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is the best that you can do. We owe them.
Let me ask this very quickly,
Yes.
because of time. I'm looking at a situation where, for example, I'm just using this as an example because it's the nearest example I can think about. The children getting food in Nairobi.
Yes.
Very good initiative. I'm looking at public participation happening for that. Then you bring the children. Really, do you really expect a child to do effective public participation without the guidance of the mother or the father? And mostly mothers, because mothers are the social engineers of these children. They're the ones who engineer them on what exactly they need to do. Is that possible? Because how do you expect to do public participation with them? Ask them, what kind of food do you want? You would be shocked at the answers you will get. So how do you do this effectively to children? Now we have moved from that echoes of war for teenagers. We have moved from shackles of doom. Now we are going to the basic child receiving food in school. How do you realistically involve them in public participation?
There is the part of treating a human being with dignity.
Okay.
Yes, so what I would say is that our children, whatever food they are given, should be with dignity. Because you see, sometimes the assumption of whoever is providing the food is that they're vulnerable and anything can be given to them, which will not be very okay. Number two, if you asking children to participate in what they would want to eat is a very, very, very noble idea. But I'm also wondering, and I want to put myself in the shoes of the Governor Sakaja or any other governor, that you have come to Nairobi and you want to feed a Nairobi child with food. They will tell you all manner of things. Ice cream, chips, omena, kila mtu atakwambia ile anapenda. Yeah.
But they clapped for him. That's something they really enjoy. You know, when he introduced it. He is a hero of the children.
He is.
Yes.
If I can remember how I grew up, going to school, no meal, no nothing, and he has made that provision, I thank God for that. The only thing that I would request is that it should be done with dignity. Don't just bring wrong things, maybe some maize that have aflatoxin in them, and then you find a way of disposing, but you dispose in our children. That one will not be very okay. But again, you should also be considerate about the nutritional value that is the children are getting from the food you are giving. Another thing is, not all children will be able to, you will not be able to satisfy every child.
Absolutely.
So you must have a common ground. And remember, parents must be involved
in 1 minute
in this.
Because time is over.
Yes.
Do we fear civic engagement? Because after you've done civic education, what follows? Civic engagement. The moment you enlighten the child, they will start engaging. That's when you see echoes of war. That's when you see shackles of doom. That is just a sign. That's when you see Gen Zs in the streets. These are products of civic education. So are we afraid of civic education in 1 minute?
It is the leaders afraid of it. But we don't mind how afraid they are of civic education. We will still do civic education. Remember, the Constitution allows. Do it in your small way. That one person that you shall have enlightened will be the one to enlighten the others.
Well said.
Yes.
Viewers, that's all our time. I promise to bring you back and talk about coping mechanism, because they are traumatized children. We've not even addressed the traumatized children. We've been with Maureen Okal. This has been Treasures of Life Show. My name is Jonah Simba. You can follow us on our Science TV YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Blind Jonah Simba, TikTok Blind Jonah Simba. Follow me and give us your views. See you next week. Our sign language interpreter has been Wanjangete. Bye-bye.